What's going on, everybody? It's Professor Gnome, and today we're going to be looking at another card from Stellar Crown, which is Garganacl EX. This card is a ton of fun, and the fact that its ability is just Salty Body is very fitting, where what it does is that it can't be affected by special conditions. On paper, that sounds pretty worthless, but with the strategy that you employ with this deck, it's kind of important because it allows you to bypass things like poison, or like paralysis or something like that, but predominantly poison. The main thing is because we want to use the block hammer attack for 170 damage, which pretty much means we're two-shotting everything in the game, but more importantly, what it does is during your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes 60 less damage. That's huge because we have 340 HP and we're going to be healing a lot of the time, where what we're able to do is that we can heal with our regular Garganacl, where during Pokemon Checkup, you heal 20 damage from each of your Pokemon. So really, it's like you're taking 80 less damage. But that's not all we can do. We also have the Lake Acuity Stadium card, where if we have any fighting energy attached, we're taking 20 less damage. So on top of everything else, we're taking 100 less damage. And then what we can do is combo on top of that and have the Rock Chestplate tool card attached, which means we're taking 30 less damage even more. So we're taking 130 less damage on every attack that comes our way. So even if we're two-shotting stuff, it doesn't really matter because it's going to take them 3, even 4 attacks to knock us out in most cases. Even like a completely full powered up Charizard, like if we're on a final prize card, it still can't knock us out in a single attack. And then as a backup resort, we also run the supporter card Cook that heals an additional 70 damage. So with everything on board and a Cook, we're actually healing for like 200 damage on a single turn, which is ginormous. On top of that, though, our A-Spec of choice is going to be the Grand Tree. This is a new A-Spec that pretty much functions like a Rare Candy, except we're allowed to play our Stage 2 down as well. So getting this out, being able to accelerate our board is super, super important. And it's also why we run Pidgeot EX, because Pidgeot EX is already incredibly strong and like low-key broken. And so when you're running like Rare Candies and things like that, you may as well play it if you're already running a bunch of Rare Candies, which we are for our Garganacl. So then we're allowed to benefit off the Pidgeot. But then one of the other things too is that we have Sacred Tree, so we can even boost up that as well even faster. And one of the benefits of Sacred Tree and what makes it so strong is the fact that it allows us to bypass de-evolution, since it is playing our stage 1 down on top of our basic. So even if we get de-evolutioned, we'll be able to pick it back up, and that works really well for us. One other tech card that we're running is Roseanne's Backup. This is really good because it allows us to shuffle not only a Pokemon back into our deck, but it allows us to shuffle a tool card, which we can get our chest plates back. We can shuffle a stadium, meaning we can get our Grand Tree back or our Lake Acuity, and an energy card, so we can even get our double turbos back. So later on into the game, or like mid-game, it comes up really big since we can shuffle all that stuff back. We'll have a Pidgeot on board, so we can grab whatever we were looking for. So let's say we need a Grand Tree, we can shuffle that back, grab it. Let's say we need a double turbo, we can shuffle that back, grab it. Or even just a Lake Acuity or a chest plate or whatever we need, we can always grab that back, and it's really nice to have. But yeah, also lastly, we're running the Cornerstone Ogerpon EX, mostly because of the fact that there's just certain matchups that if we have this on board, our opponent literally has no options, and we're already playing fighting energy and double turbos, so we may as well play it and just be even more annoying. But yeah, overall, that's the list, guys. Be sure to let me know what you think of the list and any changes that you would make to it. I've had a lot of fun with Stellar Crown so far. I think a lot of these decks are a really fun time. I think the meta is in a really fun place. So yeah, be sure to let me know what you want to see on the next video and things like that. I want to also give a special shout out to the channel members. Thank you guys so much for all the support that you give the channel. It really does mean a lot, so thank you very much for that. And yeah, if everybody, you know, if you like what you see here and you like the list, be sure to try it out for yourself. It'll be down in the description below, as well as a link to the community Discord if you're interested in joining that. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. I'm pretty bad at intros, but we're getting through it, and I will see you guys in game number 1 in a moment. Peace. Alright, we're into game number 1, and we're going to be going first. We open Tatsugiri and a couple other pieces, which is nice. We do have the Colress Tenacity, which is pretty important. We see Miraidon, which means our Tatsugiri is probably going to get knocked out. But what's really huge here is the fact that we do have the... So we'll go Nacli here. We'll go attract customers. We get a boss's orders. I don't really care about that, to be honest. I'm more just looking for a card to discard, and boss's orders will work in this context. Because all I need to do is get Pidgey out. I can throw the Pidgey down, Rescue Board, attach to the Nacli, and from here I can pass. Because as long as we don't get Iono'd or our Pidgey gets knocked out or whatever, on the next turn we can go for the Colress Tenacity. We can play that down. We can grab ourselves our Grand Tree, evolve the Pidgeot, and then from there we can grab, and we'll also grab the double colorless. From the Pidgeot, we'll grab the Rare Actually, we can't go Pidgey yet. Never mind. We'll have to go Garganacl, and we'll grab the double colorless off the Colress Tenacity. And then on a future turn, we'll have to do Pidgey. But that's also still fine, because if we get Garganacl out and have it start attacking, we're in a like really, really strong position. Obviously, if Tatsugiri doesn't get knocked out here, that's like super good. But if it does, it doesn't really matter. Had to mute for a second. I just randomly started burping so hard. We see the Iron Hands come out. We haven't really seen much come from our opponent, though, in terms of like electric generators or anything. There's a rescue board, so they're set up to be able to retreat. 1 energy on the Raikou. They bring Raikou in to be able to draw another card. What did they use their Arven for? The Arven for Heavy Ball. Okay, huge mistake from our opponent. So we'll grab Sacred Tree. And we'll grab a Mist Energy. Doesn't really matter because we already have double turbo like in hand. I don't think the Mist Energy is going to be relevant for this game. I'll just grab another Fighting Energy for later. Alright, we can go Grand Tree here. We'll Grand Tree. We'll grab the Naclstack and the Garganacl EX. We'll go for the attract customers for next turn, see if we get ourselves a supporter. We don't, but that's okay because we're just going to go Pidgey on the following turn. We'll retreat out the Tatsugiri, bring in the Naclstack or the Garganacl EX, throw down the double colorless. We'll be able to attack for Block Hammer, which also this is pretty big for us because of the fact that we hit for weakness, so we're going to be able to knock out everything in one shot. We're denying 60 damage. Oh, cool, switch. We're denying 60 damage from our opponent, which means we're never really even going to get 2-shot. And on top of that, they don't have anything that Grand Tree affects. So they can't even really benefit from the effects of Grand Tree here. On the next turn, we'll be able to go for Pidgeot, use that to find ourselves a Boss's Orders if we want, an Iono if we want, or really whatever we're looking for. We can play down the other Nacli to start setting up a new Garganacl as well. So they get a full-powered Miraidon, they're going to be able to retreat. Bring that in. They'll be attacking for 160. Or sorry, 170, did the math wrong. So we'll place this down. Throw the fighting energy. We can Grand Tree to make Pidgeot, which is scary because of the fact that they can like go for an Iron Hands or something like that. Oh, our other Pidgeot's not in the deck. Okay, that's a little bit scarier. So we're gonna waste our switch here, and that's not really a waste because we want to go attract customers here. See what we're able to find. We do get ourselves a Tenacity. We'll keep the Tenacity in hand for this turn, because what I want to do is I can retreat this out. I can go Block Hammer, knock that out. Then on the following turn, what I should be able to do is I can go Grand Tree, evolve into a new Garganacl. I can grab myself a double colorless off the Colress and then get a Lake Acuity. So there's really no chance that I get knocked out. They go Pheasantipity. That's fine with me. They still don't have anything that they can attack with other than powering up a... Like, if they power up an Iron Hands EX, but even if they do that, then they still can't KO me, so I don't really care about that. They've only used one of their electric generators, though. They go for the Mewtwo EX. I still don't love this card. They get 2 energies onto the Miraidon. They manually attach. They do have to find a switch. They Boss's Orders up the other Nacl. Ah, so they can Prime Catcher in that. Not a bad play. It also resets, so I don't have the resistance stacked up. But it wasn't really going to matter. We'll bring in the Tatsugiri just to get ourselves more options. We do have the double colorless. We'll attract customers. We do get a Cook. That's pretty big. Well, alright. Let's make sure before we do anything that there is a Naclstack in our deck and that it's not prized. Okay. We have both our pieces in the deck, so we don't actually have to worry about not, like, Grand Tree not working. We have a double colorless already in hand, so that's already taken care of. So yeah, we can just grab the Rocky Chestplate. We can use Grand Tree on our Nacl here without any risk of it failing. There's the Garganacl. Then we can throw the Rocky Chestplate down. The double turbo. We can retreat. Bring this in. We'll go Colress Tenacity. Grab the Lake Acuity and a fighting energy. And then from here, we'll just place the Lake Acuity just to make sure that we're even stronger. But it doesn't really matter because we are going to be able to take the final prize cards anyway. But we want to play out the turn as fulfilled as possible. Just, you know, always play out the best turn you can play, even if it's like doesn't matter. So that way you get like the muscle memory and the repetitions and things like that in. So that way you know what the best play to make there, even if the game wasn't going to end. If that makes sense. Like if I still needed another 2 prize cards or whatever, like I want to set myself up as good as possible. But anyway, that's going to be game number 1, and we'll jump into game number 2 in a second. Peace. Alright, we're into game number 2, and we'll be going first. We are going to mulligan this hand away, but our opponent is as well, so that is totally fine. We are going to continue to mulligan. It looks like we're up against Charizard, potentially. I have to sneeze really bad. Eat at the mic on time. Look at me. Absolute professional. Alright, so we got Pidgey. We got our Buddy Poffins. Not much else, though. But they open Radiant Charizard, and that's pretty good for us. Man, that's a lot of energy we don't want. We'll grab ourselves a Tatsugiri and a Pidgey. We have a ton of energy at our disposal, so we're gonna go ahead and retreat the Pidgey. Ooh, should we go for Call for Family on this turn? We cannot. I just thought about that. I'm an idiot. Alright, we'll go for Attract Customers. We do get ourselves an Iono for the following turn. That's pretty good. And we'll pass. So we'll be down in like an energy attachment for the turn, but that's not like the biggest deal in the world. We'll be able to attach the energy to the Nacli. If we get really lucky and top deck like an Ultra Ball or the Pidgeot, that would be pretty sick. They'll probably go like Nest Ball and Sealstone. So they could just go like Rotom. Be able to make Pidgeot and Charizard on the following turn, but that's fine. Oh, they just go straight Rare Candy. I mean, that's fine for us because we are going to Iono on the next turn, so we're going to be putting that Rare Candy at the bottom of the deck. So we'll see what happens next. We get a Nest Ball before anything. So we'll grab ourselves one more Nacli. We'll throw an energy down just so that way that's prepared. We'll attract customers, see if we get something that we really want. We don't. We'll grab the Roseannes here. It'll reshuffle the deck, but that's fine by us. I don't really need the Lake Acuity down right now. Get myself a new hand with Iono. We'll go Rock Chestplate down. I'll have an energy for next turn, and I do have the Rescue Board available. We can pass our turn. Ideally, on my next turn, I can go Toxic. Wow. They top decked Rotom and the Sealstone off the Iono. That's kind of unlucky, but whatever. What I'm hoping for on the next turn, though, is that I can Tatsugiri, get myself into the... If I can get myself into the Colress, I'll be in a pretty good position. But I'm obviously going to have to get a little lucky to do that. But we'll see. We are going to lose out on our Tatsugiri here, and that's going to make things a lot harder. Because they already have Rare Candy for sure. Oh wow, they didn't. Okay, that could be really good for us. We do see the Pidgeot, though that doesn't really get us anything right now. We just get another Iono. I'm not really happy about it, but it's what it's going to be. I'm going to place this down. Place the Rescue Board. I'll attach the Mist Energy here. And I'll go ahead and Iono. Looks like we're both really not getting what we want to get. I do have a Nest Ball. I'll grab the Cornerstone for now just to help kind of get that set up. I can drop the Buddy Poffin for one more Pidgey. just in case I lose mine at any point. And then from here, I don't want to give up the Tatsugiri, so I am going to actually retreat and give up one Pidgey, potentially. Just because I'm in a position where, like, I need to be able to hit a decent supporter at this point. Like, I need to be able to hit the Colress. So if I have to give up one Pidgey to get Tatsugiri in safely for one more turn, then that's what I'll have to do. Yeah, there's their Charizard. They can use Pidgeot. As soon as I get my Garganacl on board, though, I'll be in a really, really good position. It's just unfortunately taking me a lot longer to get there than I would have liked. But there's the Charizard. They can Infernal Rain to power themselves up, and the Charmander in the back. So there's the Blazing Darkness, which we kind of were prepared for. We can bring the Tatsugiri in. The Ultra Ball is not really what we were looking for, but that's okay. We can attract customers. We don't hit anything. So I'm going to attach the energy here, and then what I have to do is I have to go Ultra Ball, get rid of this and this. Yeah. Grab myself the Naclstack. Place that down, and then just try to, like, manually, like, bring my way in. And hold off with Cornerstone. I'm just getting really unlucky. There's the Duskull. The problem is that they can just boss his orders up my Naclstack, and if that happens, I just lose. Not hitting my Stadium at any point has been pretty rough. But we'll see. If they don't boss up the Naclstack, then, like, I'll be okay. If they do, then we just lose. They are taking their sweet time. Okay. That's pretty good. Buddy Poffin, something I really don't care about at all. We'll play that though, just for one more Nacl. Pass our turn. And now, at this point, if our Cornerstone gets knocked out, that's okay. If we find an energy to retreat it, that also works. We're in a position now where, like, if we can still get into our stadium, we'll be completely fine. There's Rare Candy for another Charizard. For the rain, doesn't do anything. They pass, so they can't get past. I guess they don't have a boss's orders, like, in deck, which I think is really odd. But we may get saved by bad list building them. Yeah, they're not even searching with Pidgeot to, like, get to anything. So I guess we're just going to do this back and forth, which is really anticlimactic. But, okay, honestly, that's awesome. Man, still no Colress. I mean, I have Rare Candy now to get into Pidgeot. So, like, that's something, but it's crazy that I haven't found it yet. Oh, they're all prized, that's why. So, I'm gonna go Grand Tree here. Go Naclstack. And do the regular Garganacl. Is pretty much my plan, so that way I can bring in Cornerstone. I'm going to treat this out, though I will start to power it up, because we've just learned that our opponent literally has zero answer for it. But I'll go Rock Hammer here. Or Block Hammer, sorry. And now I'm in a position that I can deal with these Charizards. I have boss's orders to pull up the Rotom later on. So I should be totally fine. I do still have the Cook in my deck, so I can heal myself that way. So it took a little bit of time to get here, but now that I'm actually set up, I'm pretty much good to go for the rest of the game. They can go Duskull here. But we're not too worried about that. Because we know that they need Duskull to get past the Cornerstone. Like, they need to be able to drop 2 Dust Noirs on it. So I'm guessing their one copy of Boss is prized. And they may have, like, also, like, a counter catcher or something. But they can't use it. But if their copy of Boss is prized, then I don't feel bad. Only because my Colresses are, so we'll count it as even. I wonder what they want from the Arven. I don't know why, but over the last couple days, I just keep calling him Ivan, even though that's not the name at all. Yeah, so they've had Counter Catcher, and that was kind of why they can't get around me. Yeah, so I only take 90 damage. Less Salt brings me down to 70. I can go for Lake Acuity now, because that stadium is never really going to be too relevant. Then what I can do is go Quick Search on this turn. Grab myself the Cook. Actually, for right now, I'm fine. So I'm going to grab the Double Turbo. And power up the Cornerstone. And go Block Hammer. Knocking out the Charizard. Grabbing 2 prizes. Hey, there's the Colress I wanted before. And then they can bring in Charizard here, but, like, again, they can't really knock us out. The Blessed Salt will continue to heal us. We can actually grab Cook on the following turn to heal ourselves even more. The collapsed stadium is fine. We can just get rid of our Tatsugiri. And again, we can even go Colress on the next turn to bump this and get our Lake Acuity back, just to save ourselves a little bit of damage. And that's slightly annoying, but not the biggest deal. Because what we'll do is Rare Candy Garganacl, and then we can still drop the Colress Tenacity, get ourselves a new Lake Acuity, and a double Turbo Energy, place that down, and then draw from, and like go from there. I feel like that wasn't really the play. So we can go quick search here. Grab ourselves the Rare Candy. Rare Candy Garganacl. Then we'll go Colress to grab a double turbo and the Lake Acuity. We'll drop the double turbo down, drop the Lake Acuity, and from here we can Super Rod to just grab ourselves energy later on in the game, but like for right now it doesn't really matter. So now we'll pass our turn. On the next turn we'll be able to start attacking. If they leave Rotom in the active, then obviously we'll knock that out. We'll take 2 prizes. Then we'll just whittle down the Charizard, and it looks like our opponent's pretty much out of options. So this was kind of just a list building error, or again, just very unlucky that their boss is prized. But if that's the case, then again, I don't feel bad because my Tenacities were prized, and if they weren't, I'd probably be in a much better position. Or I would have been in the position I'm in now, just much sooner. There's the Defiance Band. Okay, so they're going to retreat the Rotom in, or retreat the Rotom out, bring Charizard in, get as much damage as they can. Wait, what? So they do have a copy of Boss. What were they doing? What was happening? I'm so confused right now. Why did they do that? What is happening? Why did they use the Curse Blast onto the Garganacl in the back? I mean, I don't get a search with Pidgeot anymore. Like, that's minorly annoying, but like, that doesn't really matter. Like I said, we have boss's orders for later, so I'm just gonna block hammer here. I live any one attack. I'm getting healed by the Blessed Salt. I have Cornerstone in order to finish off anything else. I have an energy already in hand for the other Garganacl EX. And I have boss's orders for the Rotom V after, so I'm pretty much fine. The game is over. I'm so confused why they didn't boss sooner. Like, if they had bossed up the Naclstack, we, like, straight up lost. I'm so confused. They had like 3 turns where we were just passing back and forth with Cornerstone in the front. So they go Pidgeot here. What did they search for? At this point, I'm wondering what A-Spec they're playing. Because, like, in theory, they could go Prime Catcher here. But it wouldn't really matter. Okay, they switched to Radiant Charizard. But that... Why? The plays they're making make no sense. So, I'm just going to go ahead and boss up this Charizard. Since if I knock this out, they will have 0 real offensive threats. We can go Block Hammer. Knock this out. And then we only need 1 prize. So they won't be able to use the Dusclops. Oh, hey, there's my other double turbo in the Colress that I needed before. But, like, the Charizard has no chance of knocking me out. It doesn't knock out anything on my board other than the base the basic regular Garganacl. Which, if that gets knocked out at this point, we don't really care. We are able to finish off this Charizard. Again, they can't Duskull because that would end the game for them. So the game's over, but I'm still so confused on why they didn't boss. Like, it actually doesn't make any sense. So they go Counter Catcher. Bring up the regular... Yeah, like... So they just play a bunch of Counter Catchers and 1 copy of boss is what it looks like. Oh, is their play to try to not knock me out here? To, like, stall for turns? That's annoying. I assume they don't have another switch, though, right? No, they knocked me out anyway. Alright. I mean, the play would have been to stall for turns. Because now they lose. I don't... Because if they could have stalled for turns for, like, another Charizard or something, like, they still wouldn't have won, but it would have given them a chance to do something. So, I don't get the point of why they brought that up just to, like, just to knock me out. Their play was pretty bad this game, I'm going to be honest. It was very confusing. But, yeah, that's game number 2. We had some really unlucky things happen, but that one was just, you know, it's why you never give up. You never know how your opponent's going to end up playing. So... That's game number 2, and I'll see you guys in game number 3 in a second. Peace. Alright, we're in game number 3, and our opponent's going to be going first. We are going to mulligan here. We get triple Buddy Poffin, which is not ideal, but it's okay. We will see what we get. Okay, honestly, this isn't bad. It's a lot of the same thing. This is kind of incredible to get double Rare Candy, double Buddy Poffin, double Energy. But the fact that we have double Buddy Poffin, we have the Tatsugiri to potentially get us into some supporters later on. We'll have to see what we're up against. We just see Pidgey, so potentially we're up against Charizard again. And that's not too bad for us. Charizard isn't that bad of a matchup. Though I doubt it will be like the last one. Oh, it's Pidgeot Control. Okay, honestly, that's also not like the worst thing ever. Because we can make a regular Garganacl here. And... oh, sorry, my phone just randomly started going off and it like scared the crap out of me. We'll go Pidgey and... yeah, I think we just go straight Pidgey here. We can attach the energy to the Nacl. We go attract customers. We don't get anything that we were really looking for, but that's okay. And then we'll pass. Because the whole thing is that we can make a regular Garganacl that deals with the Mimikyu. Like, we don't get walled. Losing out on double rare candy here is definitely a little sad. But once we get our stadium in play, it won't really matter. And we don't need a lot of the other, like, pieces. Really, the goal at this point is to just get as many basics out of our deck as possible. Because we don't want to be in a situation where our whole board is really, like, a bunch of things we can't actually utilize. So we'll place another energy down. We'll go attract customers. We get the Cook, which, again, is not really something we want in this moment. But it's okay. We can hold on to it for now. It gets it out of our deck. And we can pass. This one's going to be a long one. We're not really all that worried about, like, getting trapped in the active later. We will lose out on the Buddy Poffin, but we weren't going to play that anyway, so I don't really care. We see PAL Pad for double Eerie. They play Lost City down, but we're not really all that worried about that. There's an instant charge. We do get to go Naclstack here, but I want to go Tatsugiri first. There's Iono, that's fine with us. We'll go attach there, and then we'll go energy onto the Tatsugiri to retreat that out if we need to later. Then we can drop the Iono, get ourselves a new hand. Reset our opponents. And we're able to drop the Lake Acuity just to bump that out as well. And we'll attach the Rock Chestplate and pass our turn. So now all we're really looking for is to be able to get into our Garganacl. And as soon as we're able to do that, we'll be in a fine spot. We see Accompanying Flute that does put a Pidgey on the board, but that's okay. We can turn that into a Pidgeot, and that's just another thing that will be a free retreat option. Brings in Switch Cart for Luxray. They miss everything on the Misfortune Sisters, which is okay. Fang Snipe, they get to discard a card. Yep. But it's fine. We do have a Switch in hand. We want to make sure that we're actually able to utilize that. We'll go attract customers here. We get the Roseanne's backup. That doesn't really matter right now, unfortunately. So we're going to pass. We're not having luck hitting like our Colresses and stuff like that, like we'd like to be able to. Boss's orders isn't really relevant. We get rid of the backup, we don't really care. Okay, we get our Colress. That's really big because it allows us to grab Grand Tree, and it also allows us to grab a Mist Energy for later if that is something that becomes more important. But we can go Grand Tree here, use Grand Tree. That allows us to go Pidgeotto. And into our Pidgeot EX. We can then quick search our regular Garganacl. We can play that down. We can then, we'll go attract customers here just to see. We'll take the Cook out of our deck, but in this matchup it's probably not going to matter all that much. We can go ahead and retreat. Grab the Garganacl, and for right now, I don't really think we need to place the Mist Energy down on anything. But what we can do is go Knocking Hammer, knock that out. We do get rid of the Bravery Charm, which is nice. We grab ourselves 2 prize cards. We're not really worried about the Mimikyu. They do get to use the Grand Tree to get themselves their own Pidgeot, which, you know, is unavoidable. Oh, they don't play Pidgeotto. That's so sick. They're just relying on Rare Candies. So they go Cornerstone. I mean, that's a little bit annoying for sure, but we can just make our own and bypass it that way. So what we can do here is we'll go quick search, grab our own Cornerstone, place that down, go double turbo, and then from here we don't really need to do anything. I can just attack. It obviously won't really like work, but that's fine. We get to discard their Pidgeot EX, which is nice for us. The main thing here is that we can drop the fighting energy onto the Cornerstone. We can retreat the Garganacl, bring in Cornerstone, attack into theirs, and from there, even if they, you know, force us, like they switch us out or whatever, we will be able to drop the switch, bring it back in, finish off their Cornerstone EX, and then from there we'll be able to look for a boss onto the Rotom V, regardless of what's in the active. So there's the instant charge. we'll go quick search. We'll also... yeah, we can grab the rescue board for now. What we'll do is go switch, bring in the Cornerstone, go for demolish, and then if our opponent goes for any form of like switch out, whatever, again, we can always retreat out the Garganacl and kind of go from there. So there's the penny. They bring in Mimikyu. Again, that's why we have the rescue board, so we can drop the rescue board onto the Cornerstone, retreat that out, bring in the regular Garganacl, knock that out. We'll go down to 3. Then at that point, we're just looking to knock out the Snorlax or the Pidgey, where following that, we can just boss up the Rotom. And if at any point we need to retreat and like repower up the Garganacl, we can do that. So there's the rescue board. I'm so curious. I can't remember if this works. I'm gonna retreat. I'm gonna assume that it doesn't. And I'll place 1 energy down onto this. We can quick search here. And from here, we'll grab the Rare Candy. We'll drop the Knocking Hammer. Where we get rid of a counter catcher, that's awesome. Our discards have been pretty like, I don't want to say lucky, but like pretty good. They bring in Snorlax. Obviously that's not a problem. We will just knock that out if it stays in the active. They go Boss's Orders to try to trap us. This is fine because we can quick search out our own boss, pull up the Rotom, and go from there. So what we can do here is actually go quick search, Boss's Orders, but I actually want to make a different play now that I'm thinking about it. What I'd rather do is go Ultra Ball, grab myself the Pidgeot, go Rare Candy, Pidgeot, drop the double turbo. I can then attack into the Snorlax. I can discard the Stadium because it's not really relevant anymore. And now they have to use Penny on their next turn to like pick this thing up and move it. If they go into Cornerstone, I can free retreat from Pidgeot to bring in my own. And I have the Boss's Orders. If they do go and trap the Tatsugiri, I can always boss in like the Rotom or something like that. They go Thornton. They go into Luxray. Yep. Alright. We played that pretty well overall. There's definitely some turns we could have changed, but I think we played that really well. But yeah, that's going to be game number 3. We were able to get past Pidgeot control, and part of that is because we have an option for most situations and most scenarios. I think we played it pretty well not to get trapped. And yeah, that's gonna be it for the video, guys. That's game number 3. I will see you guys all in the next video. Be sure to let me know what you want to see next on the channel. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Share the video if you have anyone who you think would be interested in it. Be sure to join the community Discord down below and check out the list down below. And yeah, I think that's just about it. I want to give a special shout out to the channel members again. Thank you guys so much for that. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you guys all in the next video. Peace.